Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruze.
I'm George Kamel.
And this is
Smart Money Happy Hour.
Cheers, George.
Cheers.
So fresh.
That is a bomb to the soul.
Clean. So good.
Incredible.
Well, this is the podcast where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. So everything from pop culture, current events, and money.
And today we are talking about how to negotiate. Rachel, I can feel your anxiety.
It's not like major anxiety, but it is a little bit like, are you just cheap?
Do I need to call Dr. Delonian to help you with this? I think he's got like a whole book about this.
I know. We're gonna dive in because to me it can be a little awkward depending on what the thing is, but you're shameless.
Whoa.
You will always ask for a deal, George.
You're happy to throw the shame, that's for sure.
My dad will ask for a deal. I mean, like, people are very, very particular about their deals, and I'm going
to show you how to do this without it being like this weird, awkward conflict.
Because you really can save a lot of money. So we're going to dive in because it's a great
feels
subject.
Good.
Yes. Just like this drink.
That's right.
What are we sipping on, George?
This is really good. So this is a mocktail from a mocktail girlies out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Tangerine Mojito mocktail, and our team pulled the recipe from the LaCroix website.
No way.
There's a hint. There's a hint for what's in it. So stick around till the very end. We'll give you our rating. We'll reveal the cost per glass and give you the recipe at the end of the episode.
It's very refreshing. Very refreshing.
It has no business being this good. I'm going to just caveat it with that.
It's really good. Yeah.
Okay. So it honestly surprises me, Rachel, that you're not more into negotiating. Because your personality, like you're not afraid to spar. But when it comes to dollars, you're like, how does the budgeting queen not want to negotiate? Like, you love a good sale, but you're not wanting to negotiate.
Yeah, because I don't, it may just be like, I don't know, childhood wounds that come out during all this. I don't know what it is.
Where's my yellow
pad? There
pad?
are certain things
I'm the
that I'm like,
today.
It's unnecessary to negotiate. Because some stuff, it's like the little, 22-year-old manager at the store can't do anything about the price sometimes, right? And then you just haggle and haggle, and he's like, I really can't do anything. Now, big items, there's room to negotiate there. But I'm just talking about the everyday, I don't know.
I'm not negotiating the price of bananas at Trader Joe's.
Bring back stuff to the grocery store. Like people that do all this stuff.
Shots have been fired.
You do, George. And we are just two different people.
Why is it not okay to bring stuff back to the grocery
We
store?
can all love each other in this world. I just don't have time, and I just don't feel like,
Send me.
It's just,
I will go.
Send me.
I will be the returner. There we go.
Like that's like in scripture.
By the end of this episode, we will uncover the depths of Rachel's shame and get her to be an expert negotiator. But I want to know, growing up as, Dave Ramsey, Sharon Ramsey's daughter, did you see them negotiate for things growing up? Yes.
Yeah. We would be at appliance stores, and they would be like, y'all need to go to a different aisle, and they would get the man. I always heard, always ask for the manager.
That's true.
And it'd be like, well, open a box for an open box special. Let's find the thing. Yeah. Oh yeah. They were always asking for a deal.
So it's not always about
my mom would
conflict. It's just hey, do you guys have any open box?
Yeah, and a way
specials?
To get around the system too. I feel like there's it's that same mindset. I don't look to game the system on places. It just is what it is, and I participate. And other people, you try to find a way around the thing. Does
because
it make sense?
It's fun.
Is that what it is to you really though? Is it really fun?
Well, part of it, I know it's stereotypical, but my dad is from Egypt, a Middle Eastern, so haggling is kind of like a sport for us. It's fun. And we do it in a very fun, kind way.
And do you do it at REI outdoors?
Thank you for assuming that I've been inside of an REI.
It's the jacket. It's the jacket. George
I can only guess.
When George goes camping and buys North Face gear, are you negotiating?
Wouldn't they have REI gear there instead of North Face gear? I don't know.
No, they sell outdoorsy brands.
Oh, they have them all.
They got them all.
Thank you for telling me
Where would you negotiate, George?
I would
What's
say,
the cheapest thing you would negotiate? What's the thing that you're
there's no bar too low. I will stoop there. It's not necessarily a price point for me. It's an environment location.
Okay, that's fair. And
it's like the grocery store. I'm not going to be like, hey, the frozen pizza was $10. Can you do 8? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But if I see something on sale and then it doesn't ring up, Rachel's just going to be like, it's fine. I'll pay whatever price. I'm the guy who's like, I'll go take a picture of the barcode to show you. You know?
If I caught the mistake in the moment, I would say something.
But the idea of you watching the screen to make sure that it rung up for $9.99 instead of $12.99?
No, I don't look. I don't read labels and
I'm
receipts.
The guy. It's like, hey, I had that Target $1 off coupon for the Lara bars in there. It didn't scan.
Would you go? How far physically do you have to be away from the store that you would come back to it? Would you be home and go back?
I've done that.
No, you wouldn't, George.
I've done it. And Whitney's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got to go back."
George.
Can I tell you my most shameless one though?
Yes.
Because there's levels. There's a spectrum.
100%.
And I wasn't unkind, but I resist stupid processes and policies.
Fair.
I was at Target.
Okay.
And I bought something.
Okay.
I went to a different Target, like 10 minutes away.
Sure.
Later that day, it was a weird situation, and I went to return it. And they said, "Oh, no, you can't return this." I said, "Why?" They said, "Well, within a 24-hour window, you can't return the same item to a different Target. It's not. It hasn't processed in the system yet, so it throws the system into a tizzy if you do this." So I start to go, this is stupid. I was just at this Target. I bought this. I have the receipt showing I bought it, and you're telling me I can't return it when you have that same product here. And they went, "No, it's just it's the policy." And I went, "Okay, what if I didn't have a receipt?" And her eyes were like, "Oh no, he just cracked the code in the matrix." So I crumpled up the receipt and I threw it behind my back and I said, "Hi, I'd like to do a no receipt return, please." And it was like, she was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy just figured out quantum physics." And she did the return.
I'll applaud that, George. That's very smart.
And I wasn't unkind. I didn't berate her. I was just like, okay, then I'll do a no receipt return. So that is my most shameless, like, I'm not going to have it today. Like, I'm just not going to deal with stupid processes.
Okay, see, and I think I could get more on board on that whole philosophy than, like, give me $1 off, Bob. You know, you're just like,
If that is how I talk, then I have an amazing personal brand. But truthfully, a lot of people in their mind, I want to reframe negotiation because in listeners' minds, your mind,
I'm just being kind of funny.
It's rarely me at the car dealership being like, "You got to do better than that. Go talk to the manager."
MSRP.
Usually, it's more slick. It's more subtle.
Yeah.
It's more, like I'm following the rules. I'm not trying to break any rules. So we're going to get to the do's and don'ts of negotiation and take y'all to school.
I'll give you my do's and don'ts.
Okay, let's start with Rachel's.
I'm going to do the don'ts. Don't be rude.
100%. And
I think that's some of it. I'm not scared of conflict. We can do conflict, but it's just when people belittle other people, do you not have the power to do? It's that rhetoric that just
yeah, I'm not better than anyone. If you have that vibe, it's gross.
Yeah. Also, I learned this from real world experience. Don't dream in front of the seller. So if they have the car or the item, you're like, "Oh my gosh, that would look so cute," and X, Y, and Z. We did this when we were looking for a house. We were with a realtor and we went in and I just was like, "Oh, the nursery could go here." And I was moved in. I was emotionally moved in and I was saying everything I was thinking and we got done. And when someone was like, "Babe, you cannot do that," because now she freaking knows we were locked in. It feels like there's no room to negotiate when you emotionally show your cards.
100%.
So
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I've done that a few times.
Okay.
I'd also say, if you're in a situation and you really feel good about the negotiation, don't apologize for it. I think there is a time and a place.
Who's apologizing?
I think that people could just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask,
Oh, yeah.
Don't feel bad about it. If it's the right time and place and you're not being mean, yeah, I think there's a level of confidence you can have in it. That's kind of what I mean.
Kindness. I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah. So I would say also don't trust everybody. Sometimes I'm in a buying situation and whatever they tell me, I'm just like, "Okay, yes, absolutely. It's what they said. I'm all for it." I trust people a lot. But, as Kristen Wiig would say on Bridesmaids, don't trust anybody. Do you remember when she says that? I will always remember that. She's spoken to my heart and helped me through. Mm-hmm.
Who knew? Kristen Wiig was your negotiating guru.
Always, yeah. Look a little behind.
Okay.
And then also I would say don't be afraid of the silence. This is a big part of negotiation.
Yes.
Yeah. Lay out your argument or your wishes and just be quiet. Don't feel like you have to fill the silence with talking because sometimes you can talk your way out of the negotiation.
Or talk yourself into something stupid because it's fine.
Yep.
And they're just sitting there like, Okay, perfect. I just
Yeah.
landed this deal.
That's
She
exactly
just
right.
talked her way into it.
Okay, George.
That's really good.
You're just like the pro of it. So tell us the do's. Those are my personal don'ts. What makes me cringe about negotiations.
Okay.
It's that. But you're great at this. So what are the do's? What do we need to do, George?
Well, I think for starters, I want to start with the fact that always tell the truth. Like your integrity matters.
That's good. Yes.
So I'm not in the business of just like lying and scheming your way into a deal to save a buck. That's gross. And it's going to affect your reputation. It's going to plant a seed in your heart. And I'm not for that.
Not worth it. Yeah.
So your character is priceless.
Yep.
So make sure you're always telling the truth. Next, here's an interesting one. Haggle towards the end of the day or the end of the month because businesses are more inclined to give out discounts.
Oh, for like inventory purposes and stuff. Okay.
Well, and if you're at like a flea market and they got to haul all this stuff home,
Yeah.
and the deal is like, hey, it's 5 for 10, and I'm like, hey, would you do 10 for 10? And they're like, yeah, sure, why not?
Maybe that's my thing. When it's an individual person like that, a flea market, a garage sale, Facebook Marketplace, like an individual, I'm way more comfortable with negotiating than like the J. Crew sales manager.
You don't want to hurt J. Crew Corporation.
It's not that I want to hurt. I just think it just like, it's a dead end usually. They can't.
Sure.
So when you said that, especially at those kind of places, I think that's
You're
a great
more willing
do.
in those scenarios.
Yes. And I think you'll get a better deal. So I think that's a great
100%.
do.
Facebook Marketplace is a great place to do this as well.
Yes.
Something's on Facebook Marketplace for $75. I'll be like, hey, I can come today. I will Venmo you $50 or bring cash, whatever you'd like. And I'm very professional. And the fact that I form full sentences and say I will meet today with cash, it usually gives me the deal.
People love that. Ooh, that's another good
Because there's a lot of crazy people on Facebook.
Bring cash.
Bring cash. Cash is king when it comes to this stuff. Because people don't want to hope that your check works.
Yes.
And they don't want to deal with the privacy issues of like, will you cash or Venmo me or like Zelle me? There's too much risk there.
Yeah,
So
it's all there.
cash is king when it comes to negotiating. Another one. This is interesting. Always ask for a discount. Never hurts to ask. Do it kindly. You don't need to be a jerk, but just speaking up can lead to savings. And this is one that I use all the time. And I heard this fascinating episode of This American Life, the podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Radio show. And it was from 2015. They did this experiment called the Good Guy Discount. And one guy said, hey, I do this thing. I go into a store, and when I'm at the register, I just say, hey, can I get the Good Guy discount? And they say, what? They say, well, I'm a good guy. You're a good guy. You know, can you work with me on the price here? And
Did it work?
so they do the experiment. 4 out of 5 times, it did not work.
Okay.
But the 5th time it worked.
It
And so
did?
he went back to the friend. He said, I don't understand. I've been failing at this. How often does it work? And he's like, oh, 15 to 20% of the time. It's not an all the time thing. So you have to be very okay with rejection and the awkwardness of them going, no, we don't do that. And I go, oh, okay.
Yeah, just
And
curious.
you just move on. And so if you can just get used to rejection, I'm so used to rejection from girls in high school that I think it has made me a very
built up
comfortable
stamina
negotiator.
Yeah.
So that's a really good one.
That's
I did
good.
this with my handyman the other day. He bills me, and I'm like flabbergasted by the bill because they were there for like days.
Yeah.
And so I see the bill, and he's like, "Hey, like here's how you pay." And I went, "I noticed here there's a like you're charging a fee." And I was like, "If I do cash, would you guys make it cheaper?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we could take 4% off if you do cash." So I went, "Great, I'll go to the bank, I'll get cash, come by tomorrow, and I'll give it to you." And so you can save serious money just by asking for a cash discount.
Yes, that's
because
good.
businesses pay 2, 3, 4%
When you're doing a card.
when you swipe that card. Which, by the way, use a debit card if you're listening to this show.
That's right. Always swipe with your own money.
But like you swipe an Amex, there's a reason businesses say we do not accept Amex because they lose 3% on those transactions.
Oh my gosh. So expensive.
Cash.
That's
Again,
good.
cash is
That's
king.
a great one. That's a great one.
Using cash, and it shows you're serious. You show up with cash, I'm like, oh, they have the money, and they're ready to make the deal. So that's
And
a
it's an
great
instant
one.
deal.
Yes.
Again, they don't have to jump through the hoops.
They don't have to wait. You mentioned this, but I love it. Don't be desperate. So the do here is be patient.
Yeah, you're
Be
good.
calm.
I'm good. Are you good?
Yeah.
We're
Act
good.
like you have all day because you can wait them out. This is a stakeout here. And then be transparent about your budget. Because if they know
Doesn't that show your
Rachel
cards,
can't
though?
go over, well, not in a sense, because if we know Rachel can't go over $50 for this item,
Oh, yeah.
we're not going to waste your time going, well, what could you do 60? Could you do 70?
Right.
So depending on the situation, it can lead to more flexible negotiations if they know right up front,
This is what
I
I
will
have.
not go further than this.
Okay.
So that's an option. Another one is just being direct.
Yep.
So if you're not satisfied, I'm okay saying that's not good enough, especially in a customer service scenario where I've been wrong somehow, right? Like Southwest cancels my flight at 2 a.m., which they did with my pregnant wife.
Boo.
And so we get to the desk and she's all, everyone's flustered, giant line.
Totally.
And I was just like, that's
people.
not good enough. Like, we've been here for 8 hours. You canceled our flight last minute with no warning. And so they ended up giving us like $1 bajillion in vouchers. They're going to like buy Whitney a new suitcase because the wheel broke when they were transporting it. And so just give a little fight, you know, have a little gusto.
A little tension in there.
Yeah.
See if they cave.
And here's the last one I'm going to say. Give before you take.
Oh.
Here's what I mean by that.
Here's the heart.
If you're going to ask for a discount, offer something. So what I'll do is I'll say, hey, would you guys do any kind of discount if I left you like a raving review in my neighborhood Facebook group and on Yelp? And they go, yeah, we'll do 10% off if you do that. That'd be great. And so therefore, it's not, someone doesn't have to lose in order for me to win. It can be a win-win for all of us. So that's my final, you can do this. I've got stories all day, Rachel, of moments I've done this and done it tastefully. There's been moments where I've, Whitney was like, you need to apologize to that customer. But oftentimes customer chats online are the best because you don't have to deal with them face to face.
Yeah. You're just going to keep asking for a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so on the chat, you don't have to have this awkward social interaction. It's just a chat.
Yes.
And so that's been my best scenarios is when I can get on customer service chat online.
Okay. That's good. That's good, George.
So overall...
Those are some good do's. And here's the deal. We're all about saving money here.
Yes.
Right? And this is not a moral dilemma. You're doing nothing wrong. And and I think here's my thing. It just takes energy. It takes time. Like there's just these things, and again, the bigger the item, the more willing I am to do
the research, put in the effort. Yeah, that's
for
true.
sure.
You're not going to spend 6 hours to get a $1 discount.
Right.
Not worth it.
No.
But I love this quote. I heard it from Dave Ramsey on an old Ramsey show clip. And he said, he with the most patience, the most information, and the most options always wins. And that stuck with me. I was like, yes, if I can just be patient, not in a rush, not desperate, if I can have researched, I have all the information, I know more than they do about it.
Yes.
And I have options. So I have walkaway power.
That's right. Ooh, walkaway power is a big one too.
That's huge. And so if you have those things, you will win and you will walk away with no regret going, I made the best decision and I got a good deal.
That's so good.
For something I needed.
Yeah, I love it, George. So negotiation's a great way to save money, but also another great way to save money, because people ask about this a lot, especially if they're getting out of debt or saving up for an emergency fund, is we say cut your lifestyle, because when you go to the movies and all this, you're spending money. So in order to save, stay home.
Yes.
And play a game. You guys, board games are back.
It's back, baby,
and
with a vengeance.
It is so fun with friends and with family. And one of my favorites, George, I brought with me. Tapple.
And we're going to do it live?
Yeah, we're going to do it live. Me and you are going to play.
This is fun. So
usually it's with a big group, but George and I.
We're a big group. We're big personalities. That's all you need, okay? And I wish we could play with all of them. That would be fun one day.
I know.
Group Tapple.
Totally.
So this game is less than $20 and it fits perfectly in your budget. And you can play within a few minutes. So it's not like Monopoly where you need 3 hours. You can just kill some time and do a few rounds of this real quick. So here's how it works. You choose a category. Then you press the timer on the top. Little gray hand here, and then you shout out words related to the category that start with one of these letters. And if you get it, you hit the letter. You only got 10 seconds.
And once the letter's down, it's out. So you got to pick another letter when your turn's next.
So imagine playing with a group, and the letters are disappearing, and now you got to think of a color that starts with N, and you can't get there in time, and the tension is maddening.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
Lindsay, why don't you give us a category?
Okay. Since it's happy hour, let's do names of cocktails.
Oh, Shantae.
Ooh, that's fun.
Even though technically it's a mocktail today, but
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we can't do mocktail names. I don't know enough mocktails.
No, we said cocktail. I was just
Cocktail, okay.
saying. Yeah, cocktails.
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Get the timer going. You got 10 seconds.
Ready, go.
Manhattan.
Old fashioned.
I'm going to say, oh no, is there not a V? Ah! Daiquiri.
She barely made it.
Whew. Okay, George, so we'll stop. We won't play all the rounds. That's really fun. And again, imagine for all the new people. I got a little nervous.
You know what's sad, Rachel? I don't remember engaging my brain that much in a while because I scroll social media, which is the opposite.
The opposite
And
of
so
that.
I feel like my brain grew just by playing a board game.
I know. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So if you guys want to check out Tapple, make sure to go wherever you buy board games, including Walmart. Lots of options. So make sure to check it out. All right, George. I think we should like have a practice round of negotiation.
Wait, like we're gonna role play this?
I think we should. I think like I'm gonna try and do my best, and then as the master negotiator, you can afterwards critique me and say like, here's what you could have done. So but it needs to be something like really expensive that I'm negotiating.
Yeah,
So I'm not gonna be
banana.
good on like an apple.
Okay. How about this? You and Winston are shopping for a speedboat. That's an expensive purchase, and it's something I can picture Winston driving. Like he's got the little captain's hat on.
You're a lake family.
You're a lake
Winston's
family.
Not a crazy lake person, but
you grew up on the lake, lots of boats, and you're
so
like, I want a boat. I want a cruise boat.
Boats are expensive.
All right, and I'm the boat salesman. Your goal here is to negotiate it down by $10,000, down to $65,000.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. I'm just looking around. I'm not coming up to the salesperson because I'm just gonna hold my power.
Hey, ma'am, how can I help you? Here are Rick's Boats. I'm Rick.
Are you Rick?
Pleasure to meet you.
Do you own the store?
I do, ma'am. I owned it for 25
That's
years now. We've been
fantastic.
selling used quality boats right here in Middle Tennessee.
Parentheses, in Rachel's mind, that's great because I'm the owner of the store. He has all the power. Play.
Well, my dad, Rick Sr., he was the owner, but I took it over when his
Are you the
his
owner
passing just a
now?
few months ago. Rest in power, Rick. How can I help you, ma'am?
So sorry for your loss.
Oh, I appreciate that. He was older than a tick on a boat, let me tell you right now. So he had a good, long life.
Did he die on a boat?
Died on the boat. It's how he wanted to go, ma'am.
Well, just like the memories you have of your father, Rick, I want memories with my family.
Wow, that's real personal to you.
And I grew up on the lake with my dad. Are you crying?
Wow, what's your dad's name? Must have been a heck of a dad taking y'all on the lake all summer.
Yep. Well, I don't want to tell you his name.
I recognize you.
No, you don't.
I
Rick.
swear I seen
No,
you before.
No, you don't, Rick. Rick, my husband is gone. He's not dead. He's just not there. He's not here.
Hey, do you need a Sprite or can I get you a Sprite or something?
Cash,
You got cash?
and I only have $65,000
You have $65,000 in cash on your person.
in this bag right here.
Wow.
And I want to walk away with a boat today.
Well, ma'am, I could show you boats in your price range that might do that for you.
No, Rick,
me show you
I
some
want
65
this boat right here.
Oh,
Yes.
you want old
I
Sally?
want to know what the MSRP is.
Oh, MSRP on that thing's $95,000.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez,
We
okay.
got a sale right now. It's ending today at $75,000. That's a heck of a deal. You won't find that deal anywhere in the state of
Well,
Tennessee.
I might down at
You talked to Bubba?
say-
You been down at Bubba's?
Dick's Bus. Rick and Dick's.
Rick and Dick's. Dick's my stepbrother. We don't get along too kindly.
Oh, man.
I've been doing this for 25
Rick.
years, ma'am. You ask anyone in a
Rick,
quarter-mile
well,
radius.
This is,
They'll tell you I'm the best in town.
this is what I have. And when I looked online and saw other deals, there's one out in Chattanooga. I can drive an hour and a half and go get it down there. So would you match the price of another boat that I found?
Wow. What's the make and model on it?
It's a Mastercraft 2021,
Okay. What kind of engine we talking?
a V8.
Oh, it's got a V8. Well, I'll tell you,
don't know
for the
engines.
specs on this thing, you're not going to find a better boat at this price.
I don't know what the horsepower is.
I mean, at this point, I'm losing money on this deal, but I just don't have
oh, man.
I don't got enough slips to store
Well,
these
I'm
things
gonna pick
anymore.
up my duffel bag of $65,000 and
Well, hey, before you go, I'd love to show you some other boats in your price range.
no, Rick, this is what I want.
Well, hey, if you can't get that deal in
Is-
Chattanooga, you come on back. I'll take good care of you. That's what my daddy would have done.
I'm terrible.
Negotiation over.
Oh man, I failed.
That was terrible. You fell for every trap. You immediately went,
Oh my gosh.
I want this boat. I have all the money.
You said to tell him my budget. I did exactly what you told me to do, George Kamel.
I didn't even ask for your budget.
You told me in the
Wait
dudes
for
part of
me
this
to-
episode, give them your budget. So
But
I
wait
did.
for me to ask. Say, what? I would have said, what kind of payments you looking for?
And I would have said I have cash right here in the duffel bag.
Oh, well, what's your budget?
65,000.
And here's the boats I can do for 65,000.
Whatever.
I would have said, hello, I'm Rachel Cruze. Pleasure to meet you. And he goes, okay, cool. Good start. First of all, you got very emotional and desperate real quick. I was like, she's great. Like, we're about to make this deal. She's emotional. She's fallen for this whole hoopla about my dad's passing.
Oh my gosh.
That got you.
Don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody.
What if he really did pass? That's still.
I was believing you.
But then that made you go, I'm willing to pay full price because I feel bad
I
for
did
him.
not. I walked away, George.
But I felt it. I felt you
I don't care
ready
what you
to pay
felt.
more.
Facts are your friends.
What I forgot to say was, what I
And
wanted
the
to
fact
say.
was I walked away.
What I
walked
wanted to
away. I
say.
won. I kind of feel like I won.
What if when
I
you
didn't
walked
get
in?
the boat, but I kept my money.
How would you respond when you walked in? I said, is there a decision maker in the household that you could bring along with you?
Slapped Rick across the face. I'm just kidding.
That's my favorite. You really did great. It was an
Thank you.
odd scenario. But what I would have done,
You threw
Rachel.
death in the picture, George.
What I
You
would
made
have
it real
done.
dark.
Obviously, this is a fake scenario. I would have come in knowing so much about that particular boat.
I told you the engine, the make, the model.
Sure.
In
But
our pretend
I would have
world.
looked at the boat and would have found. I went, you know what?
Oh, I see a ding.
Yeah,
There's a scratch.
You know, in the pictures online, it didn't really show all the like. And I want you to be a little bit like not excited about the boat. You're
Oh.
looking at it and you're kind of like, it's really. I mean, it doesn't excite me. It's not what I was hoping for. The pictures aren't. I mean, if you were willing to come down on this, I might be able to make the deal today. But otherwise, I gotta keep looking. I got a few other boats I'm looking at.
In
I would have been
Chattanooga.
like, oh well, you know. That right there, that's probably a $2,000 fix. I could come down $2,000 for you on that.
Oh,
And so you start to
Rick
layer
and
it.
George are making deals.
We're making
But
deals
with
out here.
Rachel and Rick, no budget.
But the key is stay calm, have options, do all the research. You know so much about that boat.
Yep.
You're kind of, and then maybe come in at the end of the month, end of the
Yeah.
day. And
See
Rick,
what-
Rick's like, well, I got to move the boats. I got to get my quota.
I need to get
You know?
yeah. May make you a deal.
Yes.
It's
And
good.
you could say, you know what? If you still have this boat a month from now, I'll come back. Chances are he calls you a week from now and goes, you know what? I talked it over. I think we can make this deal work. You
That's
come up with that
good.
65. We'll make it happen today.
Okay,
So just some tips.
guys, I hope that helped. You know, save you some money, some negotiating
If
power.
it didn't help, at least you were very entertained. That was free.
All right, George, it's almost the end of the episode, and we close out every episode with Guilty as Charged. And this is where our producer, Lindsay, gives us a new Guilty as Charged question every week. And if we are guilty, we have to take a sip. Linz?
What are you embarrassed of haggling? Like something that you have haggled that you're embarrassed that you did. Now, Rachel, this may not apply to
Well,
you as
I
much.
did. There was a couple of times, like in college. So I'm kind of going back on my word. Maybe college Rachel was
young
a little
Rachel
more.
was a little
But
more
when I was like
brave.
shopping and stuff, like I would ask them, like I would find like something on the shirt and be like, "Can you give me 10% off? Can you,
Did it work?
Sometimes it did. Yeah, I know.
So you're saying there's a chance.
But I look back now and I'm like, man, I really went. Yeah, I don't know why nowadays. I don't know. The fear of man. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
I guess the embarrassment would be the environment, people around me watching, but not necessarily the one-to-one interaction wouldn't embarrass me.
Yeah, but I tried real hard in college.
It's been more
so-
where like I feel like I'm making a scene now,
Yeah, like, what
and
about
other
petty?
people are in line.
Like, do you have a petty haggle where you're like, or something
Oh,
that you
gosh.
haggled for that was like less
Have
than
you taken-
$20?
taking stuff back to the grocery store. To me, like
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, what was? Didn't you do one with Trader Joe's?
Yeah, I take stuff back to Trader Joe's all the time.
Oh, but you're allowed. They tell you that. I forgot.
Yeah. Costco, I mean, that's an embarrassing one. When you've had an item for 3 years and you take it back to Costco, and their return policy is like you take it back anytime for any reason.
yeah, it's
And
in
so
there.
I took a vacuum back once.
but you just felt like
But the vacuum just wasn't working like it used to.
because it's been 3 years.
Because it's been 3 years. And they just returned it. And I was like, I know, but like when you pay for something expensive and it doesn't hold up over a period of time, and the return policy states,
yeah,
you can return it.
that's fair.
And the people at Costco are very friendly. They're just like, what's the reason for, like, yeah, just not working like it used to. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And so you realize the shame is usually mostly internal.
Sure.
And it's not this thing you're spreading to everyone around you.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
again, be kind.
It's good.
Please rewind. But my wife will have stories for days. We need a tell-all with Whitney
We do,
around
and
this
Winston.
topic.
She would,
Probably.
yeah, she probably would have a lot.
And guess who gets to do all the returns in the Kamel family? Because Whitney has too much shame to do it. This guy, George. All right, so the mocktail has been great. I think Crushing it.
you finished it before. What would you rate this one?
I'm going to go 10 out of 10.
Wow.
I don't think you could improve a mocktail without adding something less mocky.
Okay. I think I'm going to go an 8 out of 10.
Okay. What's your take? Is it the mint? Is it the tangerine?
The aftertaste is pretty like,
It's a little punchy.
yeah, it's a little punchy after.
That's what I've been waiting, America, is for a little punchy
You love a
beverage.
punch, yeah.
Especially for a
So-
mocktail. It's hard to make them punchy.
That is true. That is true. It's delicious though.
Okay.
So I'm going to go 8 out of 10.
Here's what is in this Tangerine Mojito mocktail. It's got tangerine juice. It's got lime juice, agave nectar, mint, and Tangerine LaCroix.
So great.
And you can make a whole pitcher of this for 4 people for $7.28 or $1.82 per glass.
Wonderful.
And you can find the recipe in the show notes and apparently on LaCroix's website. So
great.
thanks, LaCroix. # not sponsored.
Thanks. Well, it's closing time, George. So you guys leave a review of this podcast if you haven't yet, because it helps with the algorithm and getting the show in front of people that may not see it. And tell your friends to spread the word. It's always helpful. And make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a new episode every Thursday of
Smart Money Happy Hour.